Hello and welcome. Reset and Liberate Masterclass Part 2. And let me just position this. Just positioning my bits. If you're here live, let me know that you're here live. If not, then welcome. If you're here on the replay, just let me know if I'm live. I'm trying to get the thumbs up here if you're wondering what I'm doing. Am I live? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Let's get on with it. So we had a fantastic masterclass, Reset and Liberate. We've had some different transmissions going out from the 1-1 portal, the new start, the new life, the new identity. And we had that first masterclass a couple of days ago. And we're just going to continue with the masterclass until it feels complete. Because I was going to do more little different transmissions along the way. But this is what wanted to come through. It's just that real completion of the masterclass part. So this is part 2. Part 2. So let's get into it. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, it's okay. You can catch up with that after if you're here live, or definitely go back to it though, okay? Because then it will all come together, okay? But you can watch these in any order and it will always come together beautifully for you. So really trusting yourself with that, okay? And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit like, hit notifications for when I come on live, because it's sporadic, and then you'll get a notification. Also just really helps us show the reciprocation and helps us spread the words. I really appreciate it personally. If you're hitting that subscribe, hitting that notification, hitting share, leaving comments. So let's start out today with one word you are thinking, feeling right now. Okay, and one thing that you'd love to get from this masterclass, all right, the continuation. So this is part 2, and write that down for yourself. Write that down for yourself. Quick little recap. I won't go over all of it, but the model we're using here, really, really important, is identity first. You must have your identity. And here you have your identity sacred geometry profile signature. Okay, that is like your DNA, a fingerprint that is bespoke to you. It has 4 elements. Okay, you may have been gifted that already by Liberate Me, ourselves. Okay, me. And you may not have. If you don't have it, then reach out. You require that to personalize this to yourself. Okay, so identity, number 1. Number 2 is decisions. Okay, so we're going to start sowing the seed today on the decisions part. Okay, we talked a lot about identity in part 1, because that is everything. No identity, no nothing. Right? No identity, rubbish decisions, rubbish consultancy and advice, and then rubbish execution. I say that with love, but that is the truth. And those are the 4 elements. So write that down. Identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution. All right, so it's all about that. And we did a sacred transmission at the beginning of the last masterclass, part 1. Okay, and maybe we'll do a little one at the end here for you as well. But otherwise, I'm just going to start from where we left off, right? And that is, if you want to achieve reality, you want to achieve the things that you desire or want, and we looked at health, wealth, relationships, purpose. What do you need first? Guesses. What do you need first? Okay, I've already given the answer, right? Guesses in the comments, please. Okay, what do you need first? So first, to achieve that, you require identity. And if you write it down, or you reciprocate it, or you put it in the comments, or even if you say yes or no, you need identity, yes or no. So even putting yes down, yes, okay? you first have to become the person, the identity that you're here to be. Okay, not just pretend. And we talked about picking someone famous, someone that inspires you. Okay. And if you can't, then that can be read for you from your sacred geometry. So just ask, okay, that identity. First, you got to become the person who will attract that reality. Move like that person, make decisions like that person, take consultancy like that person, and take execution like that person. Yes? Does it make sense? Give me a yes, yes in the chat if you're here, or in the comments later if you're watching the replay. And any questions on any of this, feel free to ask in the comments or reach out. So today is a chance for you to choose, right? So we talked about identity on part 1. We're talking about decisions now, okay? And we're just going to take the first layer of that, plant the seed, okay? Because there's many layers to activating decision. It's not just a one-time thing. But today is your chance to choose that new reality. So, do you choose that new reality? Yes or no? Yes or no? Putting yes in that chat if you do. And so, number 1, do you choose that new reality, that identity, the things that you're wanting? All right. In health, wealth, relationships, purpose. All right. That's one part, right? We can choose it. We can put that there, but that isn't enough, right? The next part to sowing that seed is, and do I choose that new identity? Do I choose a new identity? Yes or no? And it's easy said, right? But it's a good start. But yes or no? All right. The one you're desiring or the one you're aspiring to. Okay. Because we're not talking about new year. We're talking about new life, new identity. Yeah. So I'll give you a minute to see if you choose that, right? I'm going to say yes. I talked yesterday, I gave a bit of my personal story away. I shared some of my personal story with you about the identities that have come to me and that I'm stepping into. And it's a new identity, completely new reality. Okay. That is going to take consultancy, that is going to take execution. All right. But first, I require the identity. I have to make the decision. So make that decision. What is your decision today? Is it yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. So today is your chance to choose that new reality, and it can be a lot lighter. Actually, the sacred reading transmission right now is that things that felt really a lot and overwhelming can today, from this point, with that choosing, can start to feel really light and really easygoing. Okay, like, wow, I can do all of this amazing stuff and step into this, and it can just feel like, whoo. And maybe you're starting to experience in that, or you're realizing, actually, if I step into my new identity, I make that decision, I get the consultancy, I execute. This doesn't feel overwhelming. This actually feels like, oh, that would be lovely, actually, to get some real results. Yes or no? Okay. Let me know in the comments, yes or no. It would feel pretty good, okay? Because it all works like a well-oiled system, if you like. And with your natural system, your identity. So not a system that works for the world that would drive you into the ground, but a system that works for you, that is pure joy, right? Just working with a client right now, actually, to give you a real life example of consultancy. This is from what we call the Liberate Me Boutique marketing agency. The Liberate Me Boutique agency. We do marketing and a lot of other things. More about that later. And getting into that identity, getting into that decision, getting the consultancy, executing within 15 days, creating wealth that starts with, I think it was $16,000 and a long-term contract that's going to keep it. It's like $1,000 a day, right? So when we do this, and that particular client is saying, wow, pretty cool, right? It doesn't feel like work, right? It's all put together. You can feel it all coming together, exciting. It's actually creation. We are creating, okay? Especially when we connect with our identity, all right? And there's beautiful ways to do that. So we don't just get lost in it and go, well, I'm just a machine. That's not what this is about, okay? So today is a chance for you to choose. Are you going to choose that? Yes or no? Yes or no? All right, that new identity. Now, you're thinking, but isn't every day a chance for me to do that? It is, right? It is to choose things, but the energy will work different, okay? Because here in the 3D, we have something that is called the physical, and then we have something called the metaphysical, what you can see, what you cannot see. So the readings I do is from what you usually cannot see. You kind of know, but you cannot see it. You can't put your finger on it, but it exists, okay? Like electricity, like the Wi-Fi, right? Like air. It exists, but we can't see it. And this is the way the sacred works, okay? It works with reciprocation. When you step into your true identity, all right? So it's a more advanced version, if you like, of law of attraction. Because when you step into your true identity, we can't just think and want things and visualize them. This is why law of attraction doesn't work all of the time very well, because the identity is not established and strong. Or you can make a little result and then lose it, okay? So identity, you are the micro sacred geometry, okay, the micro energy, and then there's a macro, life itself, the universe, sacred, at large, all right? So you get into your identity. It has to be the truth, that new identity. What was it for you? Are you choosing it? Yes or no? I'm going to keep asking you. So today's about decisions. And what happens is what's in that metaphysical and what you cannot see starts to come into your physical. You start to materialize it. And you're like, wow, it can happen so fast. So this particular client I'm talking about is like, wow, this stuff moves so fast and it feels so fun and alive. Okay, when you align to that identity, make the decisions, get the consultancy, and execute. All right. So it is about, and then it responds to you. You're working in partnership. It's bringing that in, okay? What is pre-curated for you, your potential, you can realize into the physical, okay? So do you want it in the physical? Do you want to experience in the physical this year, 2026, or the metaphysical, okay, in the not seen? Do you want it to come in the physical? Just put the word physical, right, in the comments. Bring it to the physical. I'm open to receive that. Okay. So this exists. This is a true thing. It is it's our ecosystem of the way we work and create. Okay. It's not really magical. We think it's all magical, woo-woo. It really isn't. It's just the way we create. Okay. It's the way we create. It's our natural, what I call your sacred geometry ecosystem. And when you know how that happens and how that works, that reality happens. Okay. And there's different seasons inside of that. Okay. Now, it's not just it's not always summer. Well, some places it can always be summer, but right. But in our experience, there's going to be seasons. Okay. There's going to be like dark, wintry, cold moments, kind of spring moments when something is sprouting, or the summer where it's really shining. Okay, so lots of different seasons, okay? So it's important to know that there's nothing incorrect with having different seasons. It doesn't mean, oh my gosh, this is terrible. It's raining, it's pouring, it's winter. This is, oh God, it's not summer. It needs to be summer all of the time, right? No. Okay, we're again, like we said in part one, problems are okay if they're problems of value and meaning to us. Suffering is okay if it's of value and meaning for us. Okay, then it's actually really good fun. All right, we're meant to have it. We're not meant not to have it, but it has to align with what? What's the number one thing? Identity. All right, if you're not in that identity, who you are here to be, what you're here to enjoy, what you're here to do, the seasons will feel horrible and take you down. Okay, and zap your energy. So you have all of those seasons inside. Okay, can you say yes to all of the seasons? Okay, that this will bring you. All right. So, okay. And everyone has different seasons depending on your identity, sacred geometry profile signature, what has been created for you in your being. You have different seasons. Okay. So let me ask you a question. When you look outside or at a tree outside or part of nature, okay, is it part of nature? Is that nature that we're having these seasons, we're having these weather systems, we're having these different seasons? Is this part of nature? Yes or no? Okay, yes. So what about you? Are you part of nature? Are you part of nature? Are you like a tree or a flower? Okay. The answer is yes. Okay. And that's why we create in this way. Is there energy to nature, to a flower, to a tree? Does it have some sort of vibration? Yes or no? Right? The answer is yes. Okay. And do you have energy? Okay, because your identity will define your energy. Okay, your attitude, the way you talk, your tone of voice, your joy level, your fulfillment level, how you deal with problems, how you deal with the seasons, it will determine it. Okay, so think of the identity you came up with on part one, if you did. Okay, and feel how you're responding to those different seasons right now. And how would you respond instead from that other identity? It dictates everything. Okay, but the key point here is everything has a cycle, has different seasons. Okay, so write that down. Okay, everything has a cycle. I have a cycle. Okay, we're not going to be on all of the time. All right, and that's okay. That's okay, especially when you've got structure inside of the identity decisions consultancy. Part of the consultancy part is a lot of structure. Okay, so when your cycle is gone, oh, I need to go down for a minute, the structure keeps working for you and keeps building for you. Okay, whether it's in your purpose or whatever it is, it keeps executing for you. All right. And the cycles are very important. So, all right. So, because there is, right, there's a time when the leaves fall off the trees, the flowers come out, and there's a time when things are created, come into the physical, manifest, if you will. Okay. And there are times when things feel like they've stopped, okay, and go dormant. Yes or no? Does that mean they've stopped? Does that mean we're not going to see a summer again? We're not going to see a flower again? We're not going to see a tree again? No. So, question to you is, do you have cycles? Do you have seasons? Yes or no? Is there a time when you feel really motivated? And is there a time when you feel really lazy? Right? Yes or no? Is there some moments you're just like, I just can't do it today? Okay, I'm just exhausted. I don't want to do it, right? So this is happening all of the time. And it affects us, right? And it affects what we can create and not create. So we have a couple of choices here. Today's about decisions. So the first thing is we can just turn a blind eye to it. Okay, which is what a lot of people will do, right? Just leave it in the unconscious. And instead just hustle and grind, okay, or push through these seasons, okay, and just try to make things happen, okay. And that means you're working without identity, and that causes burnout, fatigue, just like, resent. Okay, so the identity must be there, the seasons must be there, the cycles must be there, and they're to be embraced in a certain way, okay, for you still to receive the results and the outcomes that you're here to receive. How does that feel? Write that down. Okay, so that's like the hustling and the grinding, all right? And then we have some of us, okay, so feel into, am I a hustler or grinder? Just pushing through those seasons, pushing through those cycles, or collapsing at them and not doing anything, or not having what I desire, not being in that identity. Am I letting them control me? So am I a hustler and a grinder, or are you this one? Because then you have people that work with the energies. So they may work with, human design, astrology, numerology, or just intuition. Okay, it doesn't have to be any of those things. Here we give you, when you get your identity, sacred geometry profile signature, we give you an activation reading to go along with it, to give you these insights, okay, which isn't read directly from any of these things, but somehow brings it all through, okay. It's very powerful. If you haven't received one yet, then reach out, okay. That's my gift. That's one of my gifts, one of my IPs, one of my intellectual properties, one of my purposes that I'm able to read, okay. Certain insights around your life and things you can't see and things that are happening beneath the surface, personally, professionally, financially, and it usually blows people's minds, right? So if you haven't got that yet, I'm sure there's a link in the description, or just reach out and get that, okay? So you can personalize all of this to you. And yes, so some people work with the energies, okay? The collective consciousness, the vibration, the energy, and they go with that flow, okay? Which one are you? Do you work with these energies, or you hustle and grind? All right. Some people believe in the energies, but still hustle and grind, right? And it's somewhere in the middle is a sweet spot. Okay. And others are just about the energies. It's like, I'm in the flow. This is moving right now. I will just trust it will come to me. Let me let you into a secret. Not going to work. And I say that with love, but it's not going to work. It doesn't work. Okay, it's we want to be a little delulu for sure to get into our magic energy, but we don't want to be that delusional. Okay, so it's about bringing these two things together. So I certainly work with both. Okay, the energies, the cycles, the seasons. Okay, all those beautiful things, whether it's astrology, whatever it is for you. Here we bring it all into one, into your sacred geometry activation reading. So we read everything here, right? We read everything that's going on in your life. I read it all. I read what's going on in your business, your finances, why a certain situation happened, what identity is asking you to step into to activate a result or an outcome, because everything is here by design. It's been put there on purpose, not by accident, for you to do something with it. Okay, so yeah. Now, when you go with the flow and you bring in the other side, identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution, not hustle and grind, that's a different thing, okay? You preserve your energy, all right? During the low season or the winter or that cycle, that day where you're just like, ugh, okay? And you can step on the accelerator when that season comes where you're feeling bright and motivated, okay? And you actually get much further if you know how to follow your flow with your identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution. Are you understanding what I am saying? Let me know in the chat. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Or let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay. Give it a thumbs up. Okay, the more you can interact with something, because it's a give and take, the more you can receive it. Okay, so I never used to be someone to understand these things, to be honest. Okay, I used to think it was all about the hustle and the grind. Okay, this is how I was brought up, right? A lot of us are UK born immigrant background, Indian. Work hard, study hard, push, get through. Obviously, successful career in the past, successful business now. Isn't it all about the hustle and grind? No. Okay. But in the background, something kept calling me. So I was reading so many books from when I was very young on many things like the Enneagram, Buddhism, you name it. Okay, astrology, not that I was like, oh, I'm a massive believer in this stuff, but there's something that was calling it to me. And you don't need to believe in it or not believe in it. It doesn't really matter. You need to understand that there are some energies moving, and do I want to bring this together? Okay. Am I a hustler and grinder? 0 to 10? 10 being, I hustle and grind at a 10. Okay. Or am I a go with the flow? 0 to 10. All right. Now, we want, ideally, if you're like a 10 hustle and grinding and a 0 at going with the flow and using the energies and understanding the energies of your identity and how to utilize that for the best results, that's not the best. Right? And if it's the other way around, if you're like a 10 out of 10 when it comes to using your energies and the flow and your kumbaya and la, right? And you're at a 0 with the hustle and grind, that's not going to work. Okay. The sweet spot would be 5 and 5 for each. Okay. In the middle. Equal parts. So where are you now? So, yeah. Okay. So when I realized there was a super conscious power here, what we call inside Liberate Me, sacred, the sacred geometry, the macro sacred, life itself, universe, the micro sacred, you, me, our bodies, our beings, and that we're actually connected and we're working in partnership, and that there are cycles in how we experience life. We have different seasons. Sometimes you can have a different season all in 10 minutes. Who recognizes that, right? Up, down, like all over the place. We have cycles in the masculine and the feminine. So the feminine has a 30 to 28, 30-day cycle. And each part of that cycle, we want to honor in different ways. For example, the masculine has a different type of cycle. Okay. So this is to do with physical as well, right? It's bringing the physical and the metaphysical together, remember. So, yeah. So when I realized that there are these cycles, there are these energy pulses, there is something bigger going on here. Whether it's through astrology, numerology, and or how I read it through the sacred, okay? Just these knowings and messages that come through. I realized, wow, life is so much easier. Okay, life is so much easier. Okay. So feel that life could be so much easier. And everything just felt like a green light. Okay. So if you're driving and when the lights just turn green and you're like, yay, yay, yay. and it's just going with the flow. It just keeps going. It keeps bringing. That's what it feels like. Okay. In your identity, decisions, consultancy, execution, working with the energies. Okay. And the flow as well. Okay. Without, getting too deep into that. Okay. So do you sometimes need to take a break? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And that's okay. But the problem is some of us are taking breaks when the light is green. Okay. So the light is green and we're taking a break. And that means we miss that opportunity. Okay. Because something subconscious in our identity, in our false elements, true and false, we have false elements, is trying to protect us from receiving the very thing that we're here to receive. Have you ever thought, did I just miss out? But you'd never really miss out, just to reassure you. It always comes back round, but we've definitely delayed it. It's going to keep trying to come to you. What is yours going to keep trying to come to you? The sacred works in that way, but it doesn't mean just because it's trying to come to you that you're going to get it, right? Because we have to reciprocate it in a very specific fashion for you to receive it. So is this making sense? Give me a yes in the chat. Or no? Any questions or in the comments on replay? So that's what this 2026 portal is all about, starting on that 1-1. And that's what this few months ahead is about. It's saying it's a green light. It's a green light right now. Okay. And it's a kind of like green in your face light. Okay. Like go all in. Go all in. All right. Today is like go all in. Can you go all in? If you can, comment all in. All in. Okay. Anything less than that, okay, is missing that opportunity. All right. Or delaying it for yourself because of what's happening in the background. If you think you're doing that, there's ways to resolve it. So don't worry. Okay. It's just identifying where you are. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. So this is what you want to feel like at the moment. Is it currently a green light for you or a red light? Is it meant to be a green light? You're meant to be going and going all in, or do you feel like, oh, it's a red light. I should be slowing down and stopping right now and doing nothing. Okay. So put green light or red light in the comments or write it down for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And sometimes it is a red light moment, okay? And we're meant to stop. But that isn't right now, right? That is not the energy right now. The energy right now is green light. Go all in. Go all in, all right? That's a decision. Do you make the choice to go all in? And then fill into the things that you want. Are you going all in? Okay. Okay. All right. So this is when green light, the next one's going to go green. The next one's going to go green. Okay. As you activate this through your identity, decisions, consultancy, execution. Right? You know that feeling. How many of you have had that before? It feels good, right? When things are just going, and just wow. And that's how life should feel. And when there's a stop moment, you feel so freaking comfortable with it and good with it and pleasurable in it and having fun with it. Not thinking like, I should be doing something else. I should be resting. I shouldn't be having fun. I should be. No, you feel good with it because you understand what's happening. And you know that whilst you're having that rest or stopping, the sacred, the macro is working with you because you did your part. All right. You did your part. And that's part of your identity to be able to chill and enjoy that. Okay. It's not now. Now is that green light. And there's going to be stops in that, okay? That are going to be bespoke to you, but green light all in first here. All right. Okay. So life is only going to feel this way if you become very, very conscious about what is happening, okay? On a subconscious level, on that sacred conscious levels, okay? On that super conscious level. That's the only way. So, and I'm talking about that collective energy here, when I talk about the sacred, okay? Universally, all right? So we started this on the 111, which is very easy for you to step into a new identity, new light, okay, if you choose it. Okay, so have you chose it? Yes or no? We just want to plant those frequencies right now, and then we want to nurture them. Okay, choose that. So now as we're going through this portal, energetically, collectively, setting those intentions, okay? And that's what we want to start to break down today, the actual intentions. Now, we're going to do a massive activation to take this out to the collective energy and activate these intentions at some point in the Reset and Liberate Me experience. Or if you're already inside as a client, we can activate those immediately. Okay. All right. And then you're supported by the collective energy. Does that mean you can just sit back and do nothing? No, that would just be being in flow. Right? Remember, the sweet spot is in the middle. So we have to identity, decisions, consultancy, execution. Okay. But it feels really good. Feels really good. All right. As it starts to move and the results and the outcomes come in, you're like, whoa, I thought this had to be really hard. Okay. So can you let yourself receive that? All right. Intentions. So write down intentions. Are we ready? Right? Are we ready for the intentions? All right. What's also important, okay, is you write down your intentions, and your intentions are going to be around these areas: health, wealth, relationships, purpose. Okay. Now you can put others in if you want, like spiritual, or if you want something more specific, you can, but just to give you some buckets. Okay. And write those down. What are those intentions right now? Goals, if you want to put it that way. All right. Desires for each of those areas. And now the next part that is important is, how much am I in alignment with that? Okay. Oh, so what do I mean by alignment? Right? That means the way you're thinking, the way you're feeling, the actions you're taking, right? Are they in alignment with that intention? So your intention may be like, I want to have $1 million this year. Great. Well, are my thoughts in alignment with that? Am I thinking that? Yeah, totally. Are my feelings in alignment with that? And sometimes we can have that all locked in, especially when we go with the flow. We're like, yeah, I can feel it. I know it. But the action isn't there. The execution, right, isn't there. Then all right. Or the identity isn't there. Okay. Or we want to have a really loving relationship with our current partner or a new partner, but are we being loving? Are we having loving feelings and ideas and thoughts, and then our actions loving? It's like, oh no. But we can't just flip that, okay? It's not just, oh, just flip that over. It's about getting into your true identity. It's a way to transcend into your identity. That's why your identity is number one, right? If you've got that on board, you can go ahead, make decisions, consultancy, and execution. Okay? And you may be saying, well, I know all of that, right? I get that, all right? Now, knowing something, embodying it, or knowing something and doing something are two very different things. Yes or no? Yes or no in the chat, right? Because that's the ego when we're like, I know that, I know this, right? And it's another way of the force element in our identity profiles, bespoke to each of us, okay? How it will show up for you, that it's trying to protect you from getting what you want by saying, I know, I know, I know. How many of you know what I mean? No pun intended. So, do you know what I mean when I say that? Let me know. We say here, liberate me. Knowledge is not power, right? We talked yesterday, it's not about education. You don't need more knowledge, more certificates. Knowing something doesn't mean anything. Okay? The question really is, are you fully aligned with your intentions? Okay? If you are not, that's what has to come into alignment. Okay? Through your identity, your decisions, the consultancy, and execution. That's the only way it gets aligned. Can't get aligned and then get into your identity and then get into your decisions and then get consultancy and then execute. No, we get it by actually stepping into that. Okay, so don't worry if it's not there. Just know, this will get me there. Okay. So just feel that. The alignment, okay? Are you aligned? Are you aligned on a vibrational level to those intentions? Are your feelings, is your frequencies, your thoughts, are you aligned with that? And is it aligned with taking action? Is there any execution going on? So today is that decision point, okay? Just the decision point of saying, yes. Do I want to get aligned with my intentions? Yes or no? You can put it in the comments. Okay? I'll write it down. Do I want to get aligned with my intentions? Yes or no? Do I want to get aligned with taking action and execution? Yes or no? Do I want to get aligned with my actual identity? Yes or no? Do I want to get aligned with making decisions? Yes or no? So this portal right now in 2026 in this reset and liberate sacredly in the collective is all about 100% commitment. Okay? It is really, really the best thing in life. Okay? Incredible things happen. But the false elements, the lies that we associate with that, that comes with the hustle and the grind. That comes with all those downsides that we talked about yesterday. Okay? But really, those are silent killers and protectors. Okay? Trying to protect you from what you actually desire and want. Being 100% committed to something that is for you, it feels great, is amazing. It's next level. Okay. So can you make a decision today, just a decision, on 100% commitment? Give me a yes or no in the chat or in the comments or write it down. Okay. Yes or no? 100% commitment. All right. 100% commitment. So it's like your intentions are proposing to you today, all right, to get married. Right? They're down on one knee, okay, with a beautiful diamond ring, or they're there looking at you. Okay. Are you going to say yes? 100% commitment. That doesn't mean you have to achieve it. Okay, that's also what stops us. We're like, if I'm 100% committed, then I'm going to have to achieve it or I'm a failure. No. That's not the way sacred works, okay? The collective energies. The way it works is that we're required to desire, have intentions. You will get what you desire, or even better, what you didn't even realize could come in, right? Has that ever happened before? You're like, oh no, I've got to have that house. And then it falls through. And you're like, no, I achieved it and then I lost it. And then something even better comes through. You're like, oh my God. Thank God that happened. It was all happening for me. There's a silver lining, right? Because we already get it, right? With the challenges and the things that don't go our way, we get it. It's always some higher reason. And there's a silver lining and we're like, but because we don't know what it is, we start to reject that moment of challenge rather than being with it, okay, and understanding its meaning, its value. And when you're able to read what is being presented in your life, which you can with your identity profile signature, boom, all right, it opens up. So feel that as well, okay? Feel that as well. 100% commitment. So put in 100%, okay? It's kind of like, will you marry me? Will I get any yeses, please, in the chats and the comments? So that's what we're activating today and through this experience. That's the purpose of today's event, part 2. And it's a big deal, right? Without these seeds, you're not going to see any result. Okay? Yes or no? Okay? Unless you commit to something, you're not going to see any result, correct? But you can't just commit to something, because you may have committed to something. Have you? Do you know when you commit to something, your purpose, and it's just not, or marriage, or then you're like, why is this thing not producing? I committed to it. I'm doing all the things. So then that can create a shady relationship with commitment, right? What's your relationship like with commitment? And that's because the identity that you're here to be is not in place. The decisions, the consultancy, and the execution isn't there. Not that commitment is the issue itself. So if you're being committed to something, good on you. Don't give up, right? Just add the other elements, okay? That's all it's missing. Okay, so does that mean when we plant these seeds, we make these decisions, okay, that we're going to be 100% committed? These are my intentions. I'm going to get aligned with this. Okay, does that mean you're going to get those intentions? You're going to be a millionaire, or you're going to get married, or you're going to have that child, or you're going to be that A-lister, movie star, whatever it is for you. Is that what it means? No. No. Because number one, you've only just planted the seed, right? We got to nurture that. All right? Just like a marriage, you got to nurture it. It needs love, it needs attention to grow and flourish and turn into more of what you want. Okay? Same with your health, same with your purpose, same with relationships, same with your wealth. Okay? So, and also remember what's in the metaphysical, what you can't see, is what's pre-curated for you, if you like, the potential you have. There's certain things that you are here to receive and have if reciprocated. So we're not meant to have everything. This is why the law of attraction, you can have anything you want, just choose it, you can have it, right? And it's like, well, that's why we don't want to commit to it, because that's not the case. But it's okay to want the wrong thing, even have the intention for the thing that you won't get. You just got to have that energy moving, and then you'll get what you desire. You'll get the result that you want, or you'll get a result that's even better that you couldn't even expect. Are you okay with that? Are you okay to not get what you want? All right, but get something even better that you couldn't even imagine. All right. So no, we don't just get it. We got to nurture it, and then it's got to match up to what's in the metaphysical to come into the physical. So it'll be what you want or even better. All right. How does that feel? How does that feel? You understanding what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Because if we just plant a seed, if we just propose and they say yes, and we get married, right? And then we put nothing into that relationship. Okay? No mental, no physical, no emotional effort. Absolutely nothing. We do absolutely nothing for it. We actually just disappear for a year. Okay? We just get married, right? And then we're like, bye. And we just disappear. And we come back a year later. What is going to be the state of that person? would it have grown into something really beautiful and into a beautiful relationship? If we just start a business, invest in it, and then just disappear and come back in a year's time and say, we just join the gym and then we disappear and come back and go, yeah. It hasn't grown because it wasn't loved. It wasn't nurtured. Okay. Right. So you'll see literally nothing, right? If we just commit to something, say yes to something, you won't even get a tiny little bit, right? Not even a tiny little bit of growth if you just abandon it straight away, right? Or just say, well, I said yes, I committed, and that's the end. No, nothing happens there, okay? Because no one's taking care of it. Are you willing to take care of it? Are you willing to take care of these intentions like they're your babies or your absolute joy? Okay, what is something you love taking care of? Okay, are you willing to take care of them? You guys understand what I'm saying? Because really, we are the guides. We are responsible for those intentions. We are not them. We're kind of like a channel for them to come out, and we got to take care of them. And then they're the gift that keeps on giving to us. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying here is to get a result, and I hope everyone's clear on this, to get results is not just about setting the intention. It's about that ongoing identity upgrade, making sure you're getting into that identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution throughout the whole year. Is that making sense? Yes or no? And I've got a little suggestion for you. Okay, it's extremely, extremely important. Okay. You can get yourself 4 notebooks, okay? And they can be for your different intentions, your different sections: health, purpose, relationships, wealth, okay? And then each week, say on a Sunday, you can reflect back and go, well, what's happened this week towards that? Okay? What's happening next? So you can reflect on that. And also for your identity itself. Am I even stepping into that identity? So it's a beautiful way to nurture it. Could you imagine just checking in every week with yourself in that way? All right. That's one quick tip. Do you like it? Do you like it? I'm going to do it with you. Okay. Let's do it together. Right. So, yeah. So there's and that's one way we can ensure the flow throughout the year. So we're going to talk a little bit about this as well. All right. It's not enough, right? It takes many layers to activate this. So, and let's take a breath. We haven't taken a breath today, so let's take a little breath. In, out. Just receiving all of that. And thank you so much for being here. Take that breath. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Okay. So we're sowing the seeds. We're making the decisions. Okay. On what we need to do here, what we require to be. We need to set those intentions. We require to get ourselves fully aligned with it. We require to fully commit. We require to know that takes coming into our identity, making decisions, consultancy, execution. So at least write this down. I want to make one commitment today. Okay, at least one for each area or one overall. All right. So please write that down and please share that and even share it in the comments. And if you share it in the comments, then you can come back each week and check where am I with that. Okay, that's another lovely way to do it. Okay. So one big, strong commitment today. I don't mind what it is, right? But one strong, big commitment. Gift yourself that. Okay. And it could be to follow your purpose, to quit your job or change your relationship with your job, to quit your relationship. Okay. Or what I mean by quit your relationship, I should clarify, it could be literally quitting, but it could be that I don't want the same relationship as I have now. I'm ready to change the identity of it, not just quit it, get rid of it. Okay. Some things like quitting your job could be, okay. So it could be anything. It could be investing in your new business. Okay. It could be investing in having a baby. Maybe you want to do fertility treatment or something like that. It could be setting up the company. It could be investing in your health in some way. Okay. One big commitment. Okay. We're going to give you a gift at the end of this. If you don't know what to commit to, maybe you can commit to that if it appeals to you. All right. Gifts and bonuses. So it depends on what you're looking to achieve, right? So now you are sowing the seeds. You're making decisions. We talked about your identity. You're sowing the seeds, okay? Which is really, really important. Okay. So please do it. Execute this. Okay. Go back through this. Execute it. Set those intentions for all those areas. Ask about the alignment. Ask, am I 100% committed? Okay. Ask, okay, am I going to get into my identity? Am I going to make decisions? Am I going to get consultancy? Am I going to execute? Ask, do it 100%. 100% commitment. Okay. Because we're going to throw that intention out to the sacred at the highest possible energy and activation. All right. And we don't do that through meditation. We don't do that through affirmation. Okay. If you send me your intentions, okay, privately, or you comment, we're going to give you the way to activate that as well as a little gift. It's going to be wild. But it can't be wild if you don't do this part 100%. Okay? Make those decisions and those intentions. Is that okay? Is that okay with you? Okay, we want to set the intentions. We want to set the desires. So everything starts from there. If you don't know what they are, ask what you don't want. It's usually what you don't want is then leads you to what you do want and takes that into that conscious thought. So the recommendation here for this portal, highly recommended, is to set those intentions. All right. And then we're going to talk about the 4 pillars. And this is the 4 pillars. Write that down. 4 pillars. The 4 pillars of your identity, sacred geometry profile signature. It's bespoke to you. All right. But we all have the same 4 pillars. What's underneath it is different, bespoke, personalized, tailored, just like your DNA and your fingerprint, okay, to you. All right. So those 4 pillars are, okay, it's true and false. So we have true pillars and false pillars about our identity. Just take a sip, write that down. All right, write that down. 4 pillars, 4 pillars to my identity. Okay. You have, and we start actually at pillar number 4, okay? Because in the sacred, we actually go backwards to go forwards. We don't understand what's stopping us getting into our identity. We don't know what to move out of the way, okay, to get into our true self, our true identity. So that is number 4 is your root, R-O-O-T, your root elements. Okay. Number 3 is your false elements, F-A-L-S-E, false, the root and the false elements, okay? And number 2, okay, we're going backwards, that's what it looks like, number. Number 2 is one of your, these are the true elements, okay? So these 2 are false elements, 4 and 3, and then the true elements, 2 and 1, are. Number 2 is who you're here to be. Who you're here to be. This is called your feminine. Okay? It doesn't matter if you're man, girl, or whatever you identify with in terms of your sexuality or gender. Feminine just means who I'm here to be. Your being. You're a human being, right? Not a human doing. Well, you're a human doing as well. We do things, right? But it's got to be led by who we're here to be. The identity. True elements. Okay? And you'll have what is bespoke to you. And then finally, number 1, another true element, okay, and there's all 4 of your pillars there, is how you're here to operate. Write that down. How you're here to operate. And that's the masculine, okay? How we're here to do things. Again, nothing to do with your gender, okay? Just how you are designed, your system personally is designed to do things. Now, if you do things in any other way that is designed to somebody else's system, that's what puts us off. Commitment, that's what gets us into hustle and grind. That's what tries to protect us from receiving what we want. Because we don't realize we've got our own operating system, okay? And you have a particular system. So if you haven't got your own identity, sacred geometry profile signature yet, and you don't know what your personal 4 pillars are, get in touch, okay? And at the moment, we're gifting that, okay? And you get your sacred geometry signature, the 4 elements. You also got an activation reading on how to utilize that. Some mind-blowing insights, okay? How to use that, how to use all the experiences that you're having in your life and why they're happening, how to use them to actually get what you want. Because everything is happening by design. Okay, that's why nothing is broken. This is why we don't need healing in the same way for what we're doing here. We don't need education in the same way. What we require is for you to get into your true elements, okay? Your actual identity. And there's a way to naturally, organically, automatically evolve into that in the way that it's done here inside Liberate Me. So to get into that identity first, come through your identity. Got to have that first. All right. And for that, the root and the 4 elements need to be dealt with. Okay. And you come through to your true elements, who you're here to be and how you're here to operate. Questions, feelings, did you get all of that? And if you want to write it out in the comments, just say, is this correct? If you're here live, you can do it, or you can just say, yes, I'm getting it, I'm understanding it. Questions, please do. The more you reciprocate, the better, okay? Because it's a relationship. And with any relationship, if you give into it, it gives back to you. It's just as simple as that. We get what we give, okay? Yeah. All right. So let me ask you a question. And we're probably just going for another 20 minutes and then wrap it up. If not before, let's see. There's always so much here. If you have all the wealth in the world, okay, remember your intentions. You're looking at health, wealth, relationships, purpose. Okay, that's the titles I've given you, just to help you along, to focus those intentions. But if you had all the wealth, but you had no health, you wouldn't be happy, right? Yes or no? There's no point. Okay. If you had all the love, but you had no wealth, there's no point. Okay. So all of these things are important. If you had your purpose, but no love and no wealth, no good, right? No, that's not it. Okay. So, yeah, your basic necessities require wealth, right? So you're not going to be happy otherwise. So money is important. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. But if you only have money and you have no health, and you have no relationship, and you have no health, are you going to be happy? No. If you only have, like, you're fit and you're in great shape, you got a 6-pack. I'm certainly not right now, but that's the intention upgrade. Are you going to be happy if you don't have the wealth? Okay. If you have no friends or no family or love life, are you going to be happy because you've got wealth? No, you're not. Okay. So, yeah, can you have it all? Yes. In fact, sacredly, in your identity profile, sacred geometry signature, you have to have it all, because one has a knock-on effect to the other. That doesn't mean you don't have problems and suffering, but there are problems and suffering in those areas that are of meaning and of value. Okay. And that means you're not giving up every time you have an argument or a terrible time with a partner. You're not like, that, okay, we better break up every single time. Or every time you get a challenge in your purpose or a challenge in your wealth, you're like, right, forget this. I'm abandoning it. This isn't working. This isn't fair. I'm having a breakdown. That's what we tend to do, right? I'm totally guilty of it. Okay. But it's happening for us. Remember the seasons, the cycles, the problems, the suffering. There's messages in there. There's involvement in there to come out. It wants us to get rid of some of our false and root elements and come into our true elements. So it's happening for us. But it is a cycle process, just like nature. Right? And not all of them are as enjoyable as summer, for example, if you like summer, right? Okay. This is why we've got to have these 4 things working together. They have to work together. The 4 elements of your own identity profile signature. And then the 4 elements of identity, decisions, consultancy, execution. All right. All right. And then the next part, now you've got the intentions. To help activate them further, you want clarity, okay? You're going to start feeling it, okay? So write that down. For each of these intentions, I require clarity, because clarity is power, right? Doesn't clarity make you feel good? If you know what it is, you know how it's going to happen, you suddenly feel so much better, okay? So clarity, really, really important, all right? Yeah. So get clear, all right? You want to start saying what exactly that intention means, what that's going to look like, who you're going to be, what you're going to be enjoying, what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be having. What does it break it out? All right. We can help you do that as well. And then you want to be that vibrational frequency, okay, in that alignment with it. Now, a lot of us have heard of act as if. Who's heard of act as if? As ifing? So yes, you can. There's no problem with that, to say, I have $1 million. I have this beautiful home now. I have this beautiful car. I have this peace. I have this joy. I have this health. I have this beautiful body. And it's feeling so great, because you want to add emotions, okay? Because emotions are energy emotion, all right? That means things are activating. So that's your classic way of activating, to be able to feel it. All right. So you want to put that around it. Absolutely, you can. So that's the recommendation. Is that going to be enough? No. Right. Because you can say, I have it, I am it, right? And feel it and go, oh, please go ahead and do that. That's the invite here, to write it out. I have this. It's January 2007. I can't believe all these things have come true. It's so amazing. I have this beautiful house now. I have this baby, or I have this booming business. Yeah. So you've got to have that emotion around it, because when we feel it, emotion is energy. That's what energy is. It's the feelings, okay? It's that frequency. But if we fake it for a moment, it can't last. Okay? So this is why your identity is so important. Getting into your identity, because it will hold this for you. Okay? All right. So you don't want to say, I want this, I desire this. You can, right? You can say, I am a billionaire. I have that. I have this now. Feel that. Try it on, right? And also you get a slight feeling of like, Well, I don't. Right? Is that really going to happen? Or you may really be connected with it. So it depends how connected you're with your identity and if it stays that way. Okay. And that's why identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution and nurturing it are so important. Okay. Otherwise, it's fleeting. Okay. All right. Because you're just writing it down, just getting clarity and breaking out exactly what that intention is and what it's going to entail. Okay. Then saying, okay, I'm going to feel it. I have this is happening. You know, like you're looking at me and going, well, does that mean it's going to happen? No. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell you that because it's not true. Right? You've activated the energy, you're planting the seed. And that's where a lot of people stop. Okay. This is where we go into your identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution. All right. So, yeah. Okay. We're going to wrap this up soon. Let's see how long. It's actually 1:11 right now on the clock. So maybe another 10 minutes and we'll wrap this one up for today. Okay. Now, yeah. And I'm a pretty simple person, all right, as well, in the way that a lot of people think I'm very deep and very complicated. No, right? So it's just a clear understanding, okay? So if you have these intentions and these things, like, you know, how do I make it happen? Well, you want to be with someone that shows you how to make that happen or knows how to make that happen or has had it happen, okay? That's where the consultancy part comes in. Or has that identity, all right, has made those decisions and can give that consultancy and has executed. All right. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to your friends or family and saying, oh, I want to start a business, and they're like, well, do you? Is that really a good idea? And you start getting these distractions, or, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should carry on working. That might be a good idea. And they've never been in that identity, right? They've never made those decisions. They've never got that consultancy. They've never executed that. So very, very, very important to have that consultancy there from someone in that identity, made those decisions and executing. Okay, so those giving warning signs or advice, etc., that haven't actually done it in some way is really, really important. But and also you got to be very careful. Okay, there's a lot of marketing out there in the coaching world specifically that may make it look like that, and that is misguiding you. Okay, that is misguiding you. So, as much as I love it all, we've got to get really clear on that. Okay, doesn't mean that person has to have a perfect life. Remember, we have problems, struggles, right? Seasons, cycles, all the stuff. Okay, but they're in that identity. They're making those decisions. They can consult and get consultancy, and they execute the thing that you're wanting, your intentions. Okay. You know, because there's a lot of things out there, like, you know, here's how you win the lottery overnight. You know, you do X, Y, Z, and it's like, well, have you won the lottery? Right? Have you actually done that? Okay. Yeah. So how many times have you done that with the technique that you're talking about in that consultancy area? Okay. So my success strategy is pretty easy. Like I said, you pick the identity, come into that, embody that, the decisions. This was in part 1. The consultancy, get the consultancy, and execution. Okay. That's it. Okay. All right. So, like now, one of the identities that are meeting me is to become a connector for artists, um, singers, DJs, public figures. Okay, it's already started. So, what am I going to do? Right? I'm going to find someone who's done it before. Okay, and can be that consultancy to me, that consultant. Okay, has the identity as well, has made those decisions, and as a consultant, they don't have to do exactly the same thing. That doesn't mean if you want to be an actress, go get an actress. No. Right? It's not exactly the same thing. It's about the success. Okay, the consultancy to create success. Okay, in whatever it is. If someone knows how to create success, they're going to be able to show you how to make success if they really have, right? And then that execution. All right. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? All right. If I want to be a millionaire, I'm going to be around a millionaire to get that and pick that identity, make those decisions, get that consultancy and execution. Okay. All right. So some people say, well, what gives me the right? What gives me the right to be telling you all of this and give you these readings, this information, if I don't have those results? Okay. And that's absolutely true. Okay. Now, not a perfect life, nowhere near. Okay. Problems, suffering, all those things. I have it. It's actually part of the sacred design, things we're to transcend and receive from. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Okay. But I can only teach you what I've achieved. All right. Have I helped in my 18 years of marketing experience? Have I helped companies create millions? Yes. Have I had a business for 10 years and created hundreds of thousands? Okay. Yes. Okay. Have I been able to achieve that? Yes. Right. So, but if you want something else entirely, right, then maybe I'm not your activator. I'm not your consultant. Okay. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Because I want to be totally honest with you in terms of that. Okay. But if you want that liberation, okay, you want that success, right? That can move fast, only with identity, decision, consultancy, and execution, what we're bringing to Liberate Me this year. Okay. Then great. But if not, then maybe that one's not for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? It depends what you want. All right. Okay. So I'm going to just check my notes here, just give you a moment. Any comments, any questions? And then we're just going to recap. Okay. So recap. Today's about decisions. Okay. What are your intentions for health, wealth, purpose, relationships? What's the clarity around that? More detail around it for the whole year. What does that actually entail? And then what we know as projecting yourself forward to January 2027 and getting more clarity and getting the emotions involved, like, oh my God, this is amazing. I look so good. I'm full of happiness and fulfillment. I feel so good in my body. I can't believe I've got 100,000 in savings. I did $1 million this year. Yeah. So be with that. Okay. Like I say, not enough. Okay. It's definitely planting that seed. Okay. So you can be there. I'm so blessed. Okay. I'm so happy in my relationship, or I'm so happy I got married this year. It was an incredible wedding. That was loved every single day. I love myself. I've got the best relationship. I can't believe how much energy I've had this year. How many beautiful countries I traveled to. I went to Mexico. This incredible relationship with my ex-husband even. I never knew we could co-parent so beautifully. Okay. So absolutely. That kind of future tripping and feeling that feeling is great. Now we have a different way inside of sacred geometry to supercharge and activate these intentions. Okay. You can reach out for that personally. All right. Little private bonus. But this is good to start planting the seed. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And if you require more time to be with this, take as much time as you need. You can take it after this class. Okay. There's so much we're getting through. Right? Okay. So this is all great. So we've been with identity part 1, part 2, decisions. That's what today's been about. And then part 3 is about consultancy, not more healing, more coaching alone. Consultancy that we're going to bring you into is very different. It's very real. Okay. It's around that personal branding, not just fake personal branding. Okay. Which also works, but doesn't have the same fulfillment results. Okay. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes it doesn't work at all because it's not your true identity. All right. And it's your identity, your personal branding for your purpose, obviously your career, your business, for your love life, for your wealth, okay, and for your health. All of that, okay, comes from your identity, okay. Okay. So, and that is it. It is only the identity with the decisions consultancy that you can actually execute and receive those intentions and those results. Okay. So we announced on the first class, and we're going to give them away as well, a little complimentary gift as we end this session. We are taking on what we're calling a boutique consultancy assessment. Okay. Where I'm going to give you an assessment. That means, it could be a consultancy assessment on your purpose, your love life, your health, okay, your wealth. To be honest, they all come together, okay? But you can let me know the main thing you want to focus on. We can let you know what this consultancy stuff is all about, okay? So we're offering that for your purpose, for love, a boutique consultancy assessment, okay? So you can get some real insight, right? Of what is the stuff that needs to be executed here? What is it I require for these intentions to happen? Okay? All right. So, how to get filthy rich, right? Or have wealthy, or have the relationships and have your purpose in 2026, or just that peace and happiness and fulfillment and that spirituality you want. It starts with a personal brand. It starts with your identity, okay, and knowing how to execute it. All right. And so I don't mean a personal brand that is created and made up and nothing to do with your identity. Okay. We're talking about those 4 pillars and the elements that are bespoke to you. but a personal brand that is true to your identity. And when embodied, okay, and executed, if you want to build anything this year, activate that personal brand and your identity and actually get the consultancy on getting you there. There's no point in having an identity, a personal brand, and not activating it and developing it. I'm 47 years old. I have, 18 years in marketing, helping top end companies, individuals with their dreams, and artists as well of all kinds make hundreds and millions. And the last 10 years with my identity work in Liberate Me, yeah, it's been incredible. And I didn't have hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. You'll see that. I think I have less than 1,500. Okay. Because it's not about that. It's about coming to your identity, your niche, the decisions, the consultancy, and the execution. Yeah. All right. I've traveled the world constantly over the last 10 years. I lose count, to be honest, of the number of places I've traveled to in a year. Yet, most people have probably never heard of me, right? But in my niche, I am the most known person, right? I'm the expert, okay? And the reason I'm telling you this isn't to like blow off my own ego, but you do not need to be a mega famous influencer. Get that through to your head. You can have an obscenely wealthy, purposeful, healthy life with great relationships, romance, without that, without, a ton of followers or whatever it may be, okay? And basically now I do whatever I want, if you like, because I came into my identity and I made that brand, okay? So having 18 years in marketing and business behind me, working with artists now in, if you like, the entertainment industry, and in the arts, and the 10 years Liberate Me, coaching, healing, identity work has given me a consultancy edge to hybrid that with the identity. And actually, if it's not hybrided with the identity, who you are, that's when things get sold out. Okay. That's when who wants to make decisions, get consultancy and execute? You feel like you're losing yourself. You're like, what is going on? Okay. And this is why a lot of people are like, all right, and not stepping into that execution and that consultancy because they're like, well, I don't want to lose who I am. Okay, so here we don't lose who you are. We keep who you are. We keep it at the forefront. And it's very, very important. Okay. But like I said, I think I messaged yesterday, we've got to kind of hurry up because AI is coming, not to scare anyone, but it just means the really special thing about us is our identity, our talents, our skills. Because there's nothing really special about me, all right, and my skills and what I do. Anybody could do that, right? Anybody can do what you're going to do. Anybody can have love. Anybody can have health. Anybody can have that wealth, okay? But you are your brand, okay? You are your identity. You've got to know what you're doing for sure, okay? But lots of people can do that. You can AI it, you can Google it, and that's the truth. So you can only achieve it now with your identity. Yeah? A person, a brand, a consultant, not just another mentor coach. Okay? Consultancy is completely different. Okay? And if you've got questions about that, please ask. If you're here, you really don't need a mentor or coach. You need real consultancy to tell you how to do this and do it. But you don't want to lose your identity. That's why we kind of stick to the coaching and mentoring and the healing and the education. Because like, well, at least I got my identity. But if I then step into decisions, consultancy and execution, I can lose all of that. It sounds, sounds like capitalism, right? Which we all want to go, ugh, right? But this is conscious capitalism, if you like, okay? So, yeah. So the only way not to get replaced by AI, if you like, or anything like that, is to be in your true identity. This is important for your health. Okay. This is really the only protection, if you like, we can give ourselves is a personal brand, our identity in your true elements, knowing exactly how to embody them, take action on it. Okay. Yeah. Because we're kind of running out of time, if you like, because the more we hesitate, the more people are realizing their own personal brand and the power of that. Now, some of them might be faking it, which isn't great, but being in your true identity is going to put you a cut above them. Okay. So getting consultancy now, if you're here, that means that's what's meant for you. Okay. Nothing wrong with coaching and mentoring, right? But consultancy rather than coaching or healing. Okay. Is that a yes or no for you? Yes or no? Today's about decisions. Like, well, yeah. That will have your results match your intentions. You would be healed, right? Healing will come from achieving, not dreaming, not just feeling it, but it actually happening. And that is what Liberate Me is this year, committed to. Yeah. Yeah. So those with a personal brand, your identity, your true identity, will be propelled. The next success story. Okay. Do you want to be the next success story? Yes or no? Okay. So this will become common, right? At the moment, you can get ahead if you like a little bit, okay, especially if you want a purpose business career. Because personal brand led companies or people in their true identity unapologetically are destroying faceless corporations and false identities because people want to buy from people. Love wants to get love from a real person, an identity. Love interest want to fall in love with people, not a soulless machine. Right? So you have to start now, right? Is the invitation anyway. And honestly, this is one bit of advice we really need to get over ourselves and step into our true identity, start being you or that identity you chose, which is you, even if it doesn't feel like you, and start expressing that to the world. Start taking the decisions, the consultancy, and the execution. And you may think, well, no one cares if I get into my true identity as I expressing myself. No one cares. That's not going to, that's not going to get people to buy from me or, for me to be successful in wealth, okay, or in my love life. But believe me, someone does. And we only need a few, okay, to activate the wealth. You don't actually need millions, all right? And you only need potentially one for love, depending on your love setup. Okay. So to really activate this into action, you want to stop doing more courses, if you like, or certifications. If you're not making money out of it, or you're stuck in that addiction and that illusion, and instead you want to get clear, okay? Get clear on your intentions and start looking at the consequences of those intentions. We talked about this in part 1, the upsides and the downsides, okay? And look at the probability of those consequences, the upsides and the downsides. Because the downsides want to be mitigated, okay? That I go for this and I'm not going to be able to achieve it. Okay, so how do you mitigate that? You make decisions, you get consultancy, you get into execution, all right? Things like that. And we talked about the importance of having resolve, okay? Resolve. So what does the word resolve mean to you? What feeling comes up? You may have a good relationship with it, a bad relationship. Tell me. Put in the comments. Share. All right. And finally, what is your relationship like with the sacred? with the universe, with God, if you like, with the superconscious, with the metaphysical? What is that like for you? Okay. That's important, right? Because you want to connect to these energies. But what is your relationship like with decisions, with getting consultancy and executing? Because we want to meet that halfway. It's not enough to have one or the other. We want both. And that's half the trouble. So, for example, if you've been in business more than a year and you haven't made the highest salary you ever made in your life in your business, we don't have a business at the moment, okay? Because it's not in your identity. It wants to activate. All right? Through your identity and your personal brand, something is missing that wants consultancy. It wants to be executed. Because that's actually easy for you to do because you've already created it in the physical, the highest salary you ever had. Write down what is your highest salary. And if you have a business and it hasn't created that, then you get to do that this year, right? And we can show you how exactly. That's what the boutique consultancy assessments are about. Okay, the complimentary ones, a gift that we're giving through this experience. All right. And same with your love life. If your love life hasn't turned into what you want it to turn into, and that doesn't mean a perfect love life. Okay. Remember, we have problems, suffering, seasons. Okay. Because we are here to grow, right? Not have it all figured out. Okay. But there hasn't been what you wanted it to come from the year before. Okay. Same thing. It means we're not in our identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution. All right. All right. And one final thing. So we're going over again, but I just wanted to finish it up so we have this masterclass in 2 parts. Purpose. We're obsessed with finding our purpose, right? Is there a purpose? Do you think we have purpose? Do you think we have one purpose? What's your feelings? Tell me. There is no purpose. Okay. So we can't, and the invite is to take a level of relief in that. We have many IPs, intellectual properties, gifts, talents, okay, that we're actually born with. They're just waiting for us to activate. Sometimes we've learned other things, and that actually offloads, bypasses the thing we're here to do, all right, and be. But that you have many, okay? But the most important purpose here is to have meaning, to have purpose, and, to have fulfillment. That's the purpose. Just doing things you love and enjoy. Okay. So every moment is here to have meaning and purpose. So that's the invite. In every moment you have, from this moment forwards, you're in this one with me. And thank you so much for being here. We're all in this together. We're going to wrap it up now. The invite is to take meaning and in every moment you have. Okay. We all hear this, right? We'll have that I know stuff, be in the present, be in the moment. But if we are in the past or we are in the future, but we are not, and it's okay to be in the past, to transcend the past, okay to be in the future, because we're activating that. So I'm not one that says just be in the present. But as the moments are happening, you want to have meaning with it and fulfillment and just like, right, this is a moment I'm having, even if it's a tough season or a tough moment or a tough emotion, like, right, this is going to have meaning in it. It's of value and purpose to me. Okay. It's not like, oh God, here's a challenge, right? So that is the invite. Let me know if that makes sense to you. I want to send you a load of love. If you haven't got your identity profile signature as yet, please request that. That's complimentary. And also the gift at the moment, as we're doing these masterclasses, is a boutique consultancy assessment. Okay. And they are unbelievable what you're going to receive inside of that. Okay, I will tell you more, or just request it and then you can experience it and then you'll know what it is. Okay, so but it changes everything fast. Yeah, like very, very fast. Okay, very, very fast. Right, if you are wanting that. Okay, so this changes things in a beautiful way. All right, let me see. It really will change everything. Okay, absolutely everything. We're talking about new identity, new life, right? So yeah, it's super rare opportunity to have this. A lot of them have me in absolute tears, right? Or emotions, like how brilliant the things that are in you and what they can become and turn into those intentions are. Okay. And that you can finally have things fall into place. That destiny to become a reality. Okay. Yeah. So major changes. And yeah, you have no idea how happy it can make you. Okay. Activating these things. We just had a client that's actually in consultancy in something we're calling the Liberate Me Boutique Agency. Okay. And it's just like, wow, like every day, right? And incredible results across the board. Okay. Across the board in wealth, real wealth results, real relationship and love results, real health results, and real purpose and meaning in everything. It's like, wow, this is incredible. And it is identity, decisions, consultancy, and execution. Okay, is the part that does it. All right, it creates a gold mine there that is there for you to activate. So it's kind of a major green light at the moment for you all. I am going to sign off. Thank you for being here, for everyone that was here live. I know this was last minute. We didn't announce this and we didn't do a lot of run up to it. So not all of you could be here live. That's okay. Catch a replay. Enjoy. Put your comments. You got your private channels to reach out to me as well with what downloaded for you. Any questions or just, yes, I've been with it. Any reciprocation is going to help activate amazing things for you. I'm sending you so, so, so much love in this reset and liberate. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah! And I'll see you next time.